Viewer discretion is advised.
They didn't know where the centipedes came from. The poor men from the task force who went in first wished they did, however. Everyone heard the chittering echo throughout the cave site. They had the latest gear, night vision, motion sensors, infrared, and flamethrowers, yet they all fell. A monstrous centipede broke free from the dirt and rock of a cave wall. Using its massive pinchers, it sliced 3 men in half. God, he could see their writhing organs emptied their contents onto the ground as smaller centipedes appeared and began eating their flesh. They were all overcome quickly. Those insectoid menaces soon fell from above and sank their abominable fangs and pinchers into their bodies, rapidly digesting anything. A few of them managed to crawl into Tell's arm, but he took a knife and used the fear of being eaten alive to chop it off as he ran away from the shrieking creatures and screams of his team members. In his rush, he ran in the wrong direction and could not find his way back to the mouth of the cave. Blood dripped from his arm, leading a trail straight to where his location was. What a foolish thing to do, he thought as he was losing consciousness. But fear makes people do things like that sometimes. He sat here now, awaiting death. He could hear the creatures coming, searching for him as his team members groan and sob as their bodies become feed and hostels for these beasts. With all his remaining energy, he started to record a will. Whoever shall find this will, please inform my family that I died in any other way. They do not need to know the true death that I will soon experience. I give all of my possessions to my wife. And lastly, I ask for this damned cave to be blocked off. Do not explore it. Do not do anything with it. God's light does not shine in that cave, nor shall it ever. Hello everybody, I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-363. SCP-363, also known as Not Centipedes, resembles the Amazonian giant centipede in every shape and size, upon first glance. Even after an extensive study into its DNA and behavior, researchers could discern no difference between 363 and the Amazonian giant centipede species. When 363 becomes exposed to darkness or an area with very dim light, that is when it becomes different from the normal stock of centipedes. Upon being in total darkness or extremely low light, 363 will undergo rapid growth in size to around 6 feet tall and 30 feet long. After growth has been achieved, it will grow a random number of extra eyes and legs, but will also sprout tentacles, proboscis, and large mandibles covered in a glassy-looking exoskeleton. This process can be reversed if 363 is exposed to bright illumination for a few hours. 363 will attack and devour anything that emits body heat. It is able to find anything in darkness by using its superior sensory organs. Lastly, 363 is able to reproduce, but instead of laying its eggs in a cluster of leaves and dirt, its eggs are laid and fertilized in its paralyzed victims, which would result in death. As ironic as it sounds, 363 is afraid of fire, and will emit a high-pitched squealing sound as it attempts to run from the flames. Therefore, 3 members of MTF Eta 7, or appropriately named Creepy Crawlies, were outfitted with flamethrowers. However, their mission to retrieve 363 specimens during a containment breach resulted in their demise. Dr. Scalder, researcher in charge of 363's containment and the advisor of the operation, was called in by the O5 for the after-mission report. And with much regret, all members of MTF Eta 7 are all dead. A new squad has been formed, with a new sub-squad of creepy crawlies to pick up where their predecessors left off. One of the council members scoffed heavily. "Very well, Doctor. What exactly happened then?" A power outage at the containment site. Backup generators failed to turn on, and so 363 began rapidly growing and then started to reproduce at a rapid rate, as we later found out. Captain Johnson and his men engaged 363 and its offspring, but were quickly overrun. Of course they did, but humor me. How did that happen, Dr. Scalder, to an advanced squad like that? Several of 363's offspring rapidly grew to sizes comparable to their mother, and essentially proved too fast and too deadly for the task force to handle. But something peculiar happened that I think you need to hear. Scalder then motioned for one of his pale-faced assistants to place a black box on the table and pressed play. It was the last recording of a member from the Eta-7, Tel. They're all dead, all of them. Doug and the rest were joking about having to self-terminate if the bugs get to them. And guess what? This creepy thing got to him and probably injected some kind of venom, along with primal fear and stubborn will to survive into him. Then it made his body its nest. They hatched so fast. And then Johnson, God, I don't want to die like this. And then the playback cuts off abruptly. There's more. It started playing again, but this time, despite heavily wounded and missing an arm, Tel appeared to be calmer now. They are consuming my flesh, but I feel no pain. It is blissful. I can see the end. I can feel Yahweh working through me. Your flesh, it is milk to us. It feeds us. It nourishes us. Be grateful for this honor, for Yahweh. All O5 council members exchanged worried glances before O5-9 pipes up. Dr. Scalder, were you aware that SCP-363 had psychic capabilities or possession? No, I was not, nor was any other researcher who has worked on 363. I was just as shocked as the rest of you. The recording ends there, however, as the site was carpet-bombed. O5-9 stared at the still image of Tel, his face riddled with blood and delirium. And what of 363? Were you able to contain it? Yes. We managed to find several fertilized 363 eggs buried within the flesh, organs, and brain of a multitude of researchers and task force members. There is just a slight problem that we have come across. Officer Tel went missing. The O5 were left speechless upon hearing the news. Dr. Scalder could tell that they were done with hearing about the damn centipede. We believe that he is being controlled by a child of 363 and has now wandered off-site. This just gets better and better. All right, get out. Get out and find out where he is, now. Dr. Scalder quickly left the room, while O5-4 goes into a swear-fueled rant. Immediately after that, Dr. Scalder received a call. One of his assistants reported that a janitor has seen Tel. He then quickly arranged a secret meeting with the janitor. Dr. Scalder slid a photo across the table. The janitor recoiled in fear as he saw the picture. It was a photo of Tel, smiling proudly beside his squad mates, a far cry of the man he saw. Yeah, that's him, although he looked very different from the picture here. Different? How? He was all messed up. His uniform was torn up, and I could see that his skin was covered in little black legs like an ant or some other insect would have. And then centipedes were wriggling and poking out of open wounds before scrambling back into burrows of his flesh. I could see his skin constantly moving around with those things under it. And that face. His eyeballs were gone, but I swear he was looking right at me. God, poor kid. Even his jaw and mouth were replaced by these some sort of insect mandibles. The janitor shuddered as he recalled his encounter. Did he speak to you? No, he just laughed. Or I think he did. Could never tell with all that extra features he got going on his face. And then he ran away. After a few days, the Foundation received a signal from Tel's anti-defection tracker. It originated 18 miles away from the site where the containment was breached. A task force was assembled hastily and mobilized to capture Tel. It was theorized that the reason for Tel's immobility was to proliferate more instances of 363 in darkness until they were ready to begin feeding during the night. Fearing the worst, the O5 Council ordered that the task force burn and raze the town to the ground and relocate all of the citizens. O5-4 was especially determined to conduct the operation in this way. I will not tolerate any further disgraces to the Foundation. If we cannot contain a damn insect, what good are we? Anyone who refuses to leave the town are to be given amnestics. They will leave the place whether they like it or not. Following the signal of the tracker, the team found Tel in an abandoned shed. Paralyzed, his muscles looked to be tense and stiff. His expression was full of agony, or was it bliss? Just as described by the janitor, the men couldn't tell how he felt during the last moment of his death. His body was now a nest, and they were starting to hatch. Without saying another word, the men left the shed and emptied their tanks of flamethrower fluid at the shed, burning it along with the horrors inside to the ground. The operation was a success, at the cost of an absurd amount of bloodshed and fire. Remember to check out my new animation channel, The Rubber Talks, where I share my life story, thoughts, and opinions. Just click on the link in the description to enter the Rubber's world. Before we end this video, we are proud to present these incredibly sweet pieces of fan art. A big thank you to all of you. You can now send us your fan art, and we will be more than happy to show off your best art piece in our next video. Check out our description below on how to submit. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Which SCP do you want to see in the next video and why it is interesting? Let us know in the comment below. We will draw your story and share it with the world. Don't forget to click like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. Please share it to your friends if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.